Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you the best content marketing strategy I believe right now for the rest of 2019 and going forward into 2020 and beyond. So basically, if you have a business, you probably have a blog or a website, or you have a YouTube channel, or you have a podcast. One of those three is usually the main source of your traffic. Those are some of the big three ways of driving customers these days. And you want to be able to repurpose every video, blog post, or podcast episode into multiple pieces of content across all social media platforms and across other platforms as well to maximize your marketing and maximize your following. The problem I see with a lot of people, and from testing a lot of this stuff myself, I've noticed that you want to create more content that keeps people on each platform. You want to use less links. Links, of course, get you more customers in many cases, but if you keep posting links, your following will never get much bigger. So I'm going to start with Facebook first. As an example, Gary Vaynerchuk, we all know he's a marketing guy. He has a lot of followers on every platform. And you'll notice that he uploads his videos directly to Facebook instead of posting a link to a YouTube video. So that's one thing you want to do on Facebook. And another thing, use images, of course. Images are great, and you can get some ideas from his page, from my page, from other pages. Quotes do well on pretty much every platform. And then you can, instead of doing a link to your blog post, I would consider actually posting the blog post, or just making an original shorter blog post and posting the entire thing on Facebook. Facebook does not limit your characters as much as, say, Twitter does, but that allows you to post longer worded content. So you'll notice that pretty much everything on Gary Vaynerchuk's page is not sending you to a link. That's how he's built such a massive Facebook following, of course, with being famous on other platforms. But that is one thing you want to do on Facebook. Basically, the entire process of this is to repurpose content to benefit the platform you're on while also building your following. Because if you don't benefit Twitter, if you don't benefit Facebook with your content, they're not going to help you increase your reach with their algorithms and stuff. So especially Facebook, their algorithms will definitely not spread the reach of your post if they send people to a link that goes off of Facebook. So Twitter, what you want to focus on, you want to do things like quotes. Now you can also do news related stuff. So you can post news or post statistics. Those types of things can do very well. I believe worded posts, just like short questions, can do very well on Twitter, and they've been proven. But just short comments or short opinions and things like that can do pretty well on Twitter, whereas I think you should do more visual content on things like Facebook and uploaded videos, those types of things. So news is very big on Twitter. Quotes are always good on every platform. Thoughts on something that's going on. Always be checking what's trending on Twitter on the right side here, or on your app, to know what's going on and maybe see what hashtags are popular that day, so that you can take advantage and post something to where you're more likely to be seen. GIFs do very well, or GIFs, however you say that. So for instance, I'm a basketball fan, and sometimes they have a national game on TNT. I'll watch a game on TNT. They have Charles Barkley and Shaq and all these guys on there. If you know basketball, you know what I'm talking about. And they post some of the top tweets on the show on national television that their crew thinks is funny or something. So usually it makes fun of one of the guys on the halftime show, and it uses a GIF. So a GIF is good, and using popular hashtags or commenting on something that's a live event, that kind of stuff is really good for Twitter. Images, and obviously you can upload videos, but they have to be shorter. You need to cut them up into smaller clips. So you can't do long form like YouTube videos and just do the whole thing on Twitter. So that's another thing you want to do. And as far as Twitter goes, you want to keep people on Twitter and do links here and there occasionally, maybe like an 80-20 split. If you want to grow your following, great. If you want to get traffic, you can post more links. The problem is the more links you post, the less your following will probably increase unless you're growing your following from outside of Twitter. Another thing I want to recommend before we go into the other platforms is using templates for your visual content. So canva.com is really good. visme.co is also very good. I'm just going to use Canva for this example, but I also recommend visme.co. I have an account there as well. But for instance, you can go to social media on canva.com, which has a free and paid version, and you can have an optimized size and templates for a Facebook post or an Instagram post or any other post on just about any social platform. It just makes it much easier. They even have infographic templates as well. So it just makes it much easier, and you don't have to be a professional graphic designer to make very nice visuals. So just as an example, here's a Facebook post. It's already optimized for the best size for the news feed. And then you have all these templates. You have photos that you can do. You have all kinds of things that allow you to customize these, and you can change the colors, change the font, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to make good visuals, I recommend using templates and using at least the size that they recommend, which it tells you underneath these templates, the size, like Facebook would be 940 by 788 pixels. And that way it'll be optimized to not cut off part of the image and to maximize the real estate it takes up in the news feeds. So use that for pretty much any visual content. Next, we have Instagram. So Instagram, of course, doesn't allow links in the description of your post. So as far as things like that, you want to post behind the scenes stuff. You want to post travel photos if you have them. Quotes, of course, do well. You see a lot more of these, like people will post their Twitter quotes and stuff on here, and it'll show their Twitter profile at the top. So like Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank does this. Lewis Hawes does this. I'm pretty sure Gary Vaynerchuk does this. But this kind of thing is getting more popular. And you have behind the scenes, travel, quotes, funny or informative videos are good as well. I've seen people like repost funny videos from Reddit and stuff and do pretty well. Just be careful. Make sure you have permission if you can. And then informative videos, you see people do that all the time as well. So you don't have to worry as much on Instagram about whether or not you're linking to stuff, because you really just can't. You can only put links in your profile for the most part. But, you can learn a lot just by following a few business people on here. And then LinkedIn is good as well. But for LinkedIn, as far as repurposing your content to keep people on the platform and build your LinkedIn network, but you can also rank your LinkedIn articles as well. So that's another way to get traffic from search engines like Google. So what I recommend for LinkedIn, instead of just sharing links to articles and stuff, write your articles and post them directly on LinkedIn, or embed your YouTube videos on LinkedIn, or embed your infographics on LinkedIn. So what you want to do for pretty much all of those is click start a post, not start post, but write an article. You could start a post as well and just do it that way. If you want to just do like a video only or a photo only, that's another thing you could do. But if you want to like rank something in Google search results, I like to do it as an article. So you use the headline, you use the body of the article and everything, you link to stuff, add images and videos, pretty much like you would any other blog platform like WordPress or whatever. So what you can do, like for instance, I do a lot of YouTube videos. You already know this, I'm sure. So what you can do is go to your YouTube video, copy the link address to that video, go back to LinkedIn, do the little plus button, add a video, paste the link, and click enter. And there you go. It'll embed your video in a LinkedIn blog post. And then when you publish these posts, you can get your connections to see them, and that gets you some instant traffic. It can grow your connections base on LinkedIn, and you can rank these in search results. So the great thing about LinkedIn, Pinterest, and things like that is you can rank these things and get results long term. Instead of like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram where things just kind of expire after a day or so, these things can live on for years. I have Pinterest pins and LinkedIn posts that still get traffic years later. So that's another thing you want to do is maximize these long-term ones, especially if you have, a business that has to do with tutorials or anything educational or informative. So maximize LinkedIn articles, embed your videos, embed your audios if you can, embed your images, and maybe even write a few original blog posts on here. Then for Pinterest, infographics and quotes are probably the two best ways to maximize Pinterest without keeping people from leaving. So obviously, just like all the other businesses, Pinterest wants to keep people on their platform. That's how they make their money. And what you want to do is you can convert your blog posts instead of doing just things like this. So these actually can do pretty well. If you're going to link to a blog post, you want to do something like this that says, the title of your blog post, and it's a long, skinny, tall image that's maximized for Pinterest, meaning it takes up the most real estate in the feed, which is what you want. When you go to the home page, you'll notice that the long, skinny ones are the ones that take up the most room on the page, and that's what you want. So make sure you're doing long, skinny images, no matter what kind of image you're doing, whether it's a quote, a recipe, an infographic. Those kind of things do very well. And if it's a blog post, make sure it's long and skinny and has the title on it with an image that describes what the post is about. But the best way to get more shares and more followers is to turn your videos, podcasts, and blog posts into infographics. And you don't even have to put all the information on these infographics. You can just kind of do like an outline. So if you have like a 10 bullet point blog post, you could do like the top 5 and then have them click to see more if they want to. But in many cases, you get more shares like this one. I turned this blog post and video into an infographic, and it has 2.2 thousand views already. It has a few shares, has a few pins, and how to get paid to read books and emails online. So instead of just doing the headline, I turned it into an infographic. The Twitch one as well, 1.5 thousand views already, fairly new pin. And I just did like the top 5 or 6 things I talked about in this video and did like a quick summary. So those types of things do very well. Turn your blog posts and videos and podcasts into infographics if you want to maximize your Pinterest reach. And then, of course, quotes and things like that always do well too. And then, of course, a few other things. You want to brand all your images. So you'll notice like on my images on Pinterest and pretty much any quote that I make or anything else, I have either my link in an image at the bottom usually. So selfmadesuccess.com is at the bottom of most of these images. You want to do that. If people share it, you want to know they need to see some branding. You want people to know who's creating this quality content. And as your content improves, you'll get more and more people interested in your platform, and they'll know it's from you because of the link at the bottom of your images. So add a link to the bottom of all of your images, and just to know where they can go if they want to see more. And then you also want to have a watermark in your videos. So if you look at my YouTube videos, you'll notice that there is a thing in the bottom left of every video now that has kind of at Mr. Justin Bryant and it has 4 icons of different social platforms that I'm on. So you can search that username on those 4 platforms, which are Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if someone tries to copy my video on YouTube, which has happened a few times now, they'll see that and they'll know that I'm the original poster of that video. And then it gives me more branding, of course, before that video gets taken down, if it does. And so it helps people. It helps from keeping people from ripping off your content. And it also helps you get more branding. Even if they don't click something, it's just good for them to see who's creating that content. So do that as well. You can also go to a site like Fiverr and get these watermarks created for like $5. And you would just go to, say, video and animation, or you could do graphics and design. So you have logo design, you can do watermarks, you can do all of this kind of stuff that you would use in all your content, like videos, for instance. And that would be a much easier way to do that. And of course, you might have like an intro for a podcast as well. You could get that created on Fiverr. And then other than that, you want to have a link to your website in all your profiles. You have that on Pinterest, selfmadesuccess.com. You know, a lot of these people do that on Instagram. You have it on LinkedIn. You have it on Twitter in your profile, whatever. So you have your link in your profile, but you don't necessarily want to link to a post on every single thing. And then, of course, you can collect email addresses. That's what you want to do for your links. When you do use links, make sure you're collecting email addresses with something that allows you to post to them in the future, like GetResponse or Aweber or some service like that. So that's it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Check out my other videos on my marketing channel at Justin Bryant Marketing for more helpful marketing tips like this and trends that are going into the future. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.